Welcome to a very special edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, a show where we look back at TV shows and movies and discuss just how messed up they made our lives. But this episode is, of course, our first in a series, a brand new series. Darth, why don't you tell them about it?
Well, yes, listeners, get happy, get excited, get whatever you get because it's finally cooling off. Fall is coming, and that means, yeah, especially in Georgia where Labor Day weekend just means you're pretty much picnicking or boating or whatever on the surface of the sun.
Or hiding inside.
Oh, yeah, if you're smart. But so that means even though we are a little far off from Halloween as of yet, we have started our Halloween series. Ooh.
Wait, hang on a second.
Do we have a noise? Yeah.
Yes, I just got noises.
Jason doesn't have a soundboard or anything that he's playing with now, gang.
Yeah, no, we are actually very excited. We just upgraded a lot of our gear. We in pictures that you've seen on Instagram, you notice the studio table is covered with a mixer and another mixer and a headphone amp and a recorder.
Another mixer in case the two mixers break.
Yeah.
And, gotta have a spare in case they both break down.
Yeah. And we are now using the Rodecaster Pro. Brand spanking new. This is the first episode we've recorded on it. So,
All right, easy, guys. Easy.
But anyway, let's talk about Halloween because it is absolutely my favorite time of the year.
Yes, it is.
And I think that Halloween begins September 1st, in my opinion. It's the Halloween season.
Yeah, that's a lot of people's volition. Our guest actually posted something really funny on Facebook that we can talk about in a second after I introduce her, as a matter of fact. So, listeners, without any further ado, we have a dear friend of mine from back in my bartender Bahama Breeze days, Miss Michele. Welcome to the show, Michele.
Hello.
Welcome. And we should say that this is the first in a series of Halloween episodes where we have invited guests to select Halloween movies.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing those all month.
We're recording all throughout September so we can release your favorite spooky and classic favorites all throughout October.
Exactly. So it's going to be a proper Halloween.
I feel honored being number one.
Yep, number one.
And we actually we did something we've never done before, listeners. We thought through something and made a schedule.
Yeah.
Which has never before been done on this show. So feel special. We're actually starting to put some effort into this. I guess you idiots are starting to mean something to us. It's so sweet.
Bunch of jackasses. We love them.
Especially you, Australia.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so we've got my awesome friend Michele on the show today, and she picked a movie that I'm gonna be honest.
What?
No. I'll be honest about why I was
it.
surprised. So, Michele, you guys is really hardcore, like into cosplay and Halloween. She works at Netherworld Haunted House every year, right?
Plug.
It's okay. We can mention them. They're not paying us anything yet, but we'll see by the end of September. Either way, but I know that you're really good into like Halloween and cosplay and all that really intense Halloween related stuff. So, when I asked you to be on the show, I knew it was because you were a real Halloween connoisseur. So it surprised the holy hell out of me that you picked a Disney Channel original movie to discuss.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was one of the movies that kind of made me interested in Halloween from, a young age when that came out. I remember being super excited, cool weather, being able to dress up and go get candy. Mm-hmm. And
unlike the kids in this movie.
Yeah,
which we'll get into.
I'll be equally honest. This is actually the first time we've ever done an episode where I didn't finish the movie.
I was taking.
I don't blame you.
I was taking bets with Josh because I remember this movie being advertised because you and I are the same age, Michele. So I remember when they were advertising it when it was brand new and they released them around September and October and play them over and over and over again on the Disney Channel. And I remember specifically not watching this movie because the lead actress just annoyed the hell out of me. And I'd seen her in other Disney projects. Her name isn't coming to mind at the moment, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I was telling Josh, I was like, you know what? I wonder if Jason's even going to see this one through.
Hang on a second. Did you notice that credit that just came up? Who did the music?
I did not.
Mark Mothersbaugh.
Really?
Devo.
I did not notice that.
Yes.
That's the second biggest name in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
besides Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds.
And of course,
yeah.
Jason,
yeah.
I thought of you because she has the pipes of an old Debbie Reynolds. It only took 45 seconds for Bob's Burgers.
No,
He was leading man handsome. Anyway,
and the director has a huge. First of all, the director of this movie edited. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, one of the Indiana Jones movies.
are you pulling my leg?
No,
right
I'm
now?
I'm totally serious. He edited several episodes of Twin Peaks. He actually directed I think 3 episodes of Twin Peaks.
Yowza.
I know, and it's like, I guess he owed someone a favor.
Yeah,
and
or did some LSD and just made a bad decision one
Yeah, he
weekend.
called
Who
his
knows?
buddy, was taking a break from Devo, and, and
That's awesome. But so Michele, why don't you sort of got into why you picked this movie. It sort of introduced you to how cool Halloween can be, especially when you're a young kid. But why don't you tell us a little bit about what this movie is all about? Halloweentown.
Halloweentown, basically it's about this 13-year-old girl that wants to celebrate Halloween, but her mom is like, no.
Don't think
no,
so.
don't think so. But
No
she's
Harry
got
Potter books for you.
No. She's got a really cool grandma that is all about Halloween, and she doesn't really understand why until she decides to follow her after her and her grandmother and the mom have a fight over what she finds out about spells, and
Yes.
things.
Turns out being a witch runs in this particular family. And
yes, they're all daughters of Satan.
Yes, they're all
Yes.
Salem witches, or the witches of Eastwick, however you want to phrase it.
Yeah.
Either way, but yeah, so you see the mom being kind of rigid in the beginning. She's obviously a single mom now. You come to find that the kid's dad passed away, right?
Right.
And ever since, or just maybe ever, the mom has never let the kids enjoy Halloween. Like,
Yeah,
they're not allowed
I
to
don't
trick or treat.
think-
They're not allowed to do anything normal.
No, she's done everything she possibly could to make sure that they had no affiliation with Halloween. I think she was just trying to make them forget
Right.
that it existed.
Yeah.
Because by the time in this movie, by the time you're 30, shut up.
After watching this, I wanted to forget it existed.
Because Marty is the main character. Once she hits 14, she loses her powers.
The clock runs out on her
Right.
ability to become a witch. Yes.
So the mom is trying to make sure that she doesn't become a witch, and the grandmother is like, she needs to be a witch.
So
it's part of the family line.
it is a little Harry Potter in that sense, where they're trying to stomp the magic out of the kid.
Right,
At
pretty
least
much.
This little girl doesn't have to live in a cupboard under the stairs, so that's that's a benefit, I
true.
suppose.
Yeah, she just lives in, some town in
Suburbia somewhere.
Washington State, or
Yeah.
the town that they filmed this in actually
Oregon.
it's Oregon. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, because Halloweentown does exist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they
decorate every
they
year.
decorate. They even put the pumpkin. Yeah,
mhm.
in the town square.
It's on my to-do list, my bucket list.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah. But I love the brother in this movie and
Oh my
how
god,
like
the Culkin wannabe.
Yes.
Over in the corner.
I thought the brother, he reminded me of the kid from Jurassic Park a lot.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely a mixture of Tim and
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
But
I can totally see it.
I don't see this one growing up to star in Steven Spielberg's The Pacific.
I don't either.
Yeah.
no.
yeah.
I honestly I don't think any of them have really moved on to do anything.
They've done a lot of daytime TV.
Well,
I noticed.
Still, the most famous person in this movie is Debbie Reynolds.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Absolutely.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
I keep wanting to call her Agnes Moorehead.
Hey, it works.
Like 4 people over 50 are going to get that.
It's
but, yeah.
applicable. I'm an old spirit at heart, apparently. I get most of your old man jokes. But yeah, so we sort of see the kids like,
I just laugh at the cinematography, like the
oh god.
CGI in this movie.
I was
laughable.
impressed. No, yeah, it's you look
compared
back
to
on it
now.
now, but yeah,
Yeah.
you look back and you're just like, oh god.
But
this
then
is...
you were like, dude, that was so cool.
well,
like,
and it's
to me, it
Disney.
was.
They obviously didn't skimp a lot. Like they
Right.
still
Really?
spent some money
they,
on.
They could have spent more money on the creature effects,
oh
particular.
god,
Listen,
those were bad.
I was gonna
particu-
get into
yeah.
that later.
Yeah, particularly when they're playing basketball and all the
Yes.
monsters have heads that are
Yeah,
monsters,
and then
but then
bodies.
Bodies of humans.
everything else is totally normal.
Listen, Disney couldn't scare you that bad. I mean,
Yeah, it could be mystical and magical. Oh, and here she is. We got
With her bag.
the entrance of Debbie Reynolds, aka the witch version of Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's very Mary Poppins
with the carpet bag.
intro, yeah.
Yeah,
that bag always mystified me. I always wanted to know how they did that when I was watching it.
it's like
And-
the Mary Poppins bag, but it's also kind of like the Monster Book of Monsters because it misbehaves and pisses her off. So, Yeah, it's kind of funny because her little bag has personality, and the first thing you see the grandma, Debbie Reynolds, doing is beckoning the bag off the bus, like, come on, here we go. Like, she's coaxing and,
Now,
ill-behaving
like a
dog.
dog.
To be fair, I have seen old ladies trying to coax their bags off of buses before, but I think there was probably some drug abuse
Wheels.
involved there, or something,
Well, you never know what pills they've got floating down at the bottom of those huge bags.
This part is where you actually see that one of the sisters has powers.
Yes.
Yes, and for those of you at home, I shall describe this spellbinding scene.
It's the cookie.
Yes, it's a little girl who's subconsciously making a cookie fly towards her.
And the mom tries to hide it.
And then her mom hides it.
By shoving it in her mouth.
Yeah.
And
Did
then
you
can't.
eat a cookie, Mom?
No,
of
no.
course not.
What cookie?
Because the mom was just not only denying the kids Halloween, but denying them cookies before dinner. This mom, she's just frigid as all get out.
I like to interpret this movie way darker.
Oh, do it. Bring it.
Like the grandma killed the husband.
He stood in the way.
Yeah, she murdered him because he had taken her.
Her
what's
witch
her
daughter
name?
into the normal world. Yeah.
So she got revenge on him.
Oh, maybe. It's very
Listen, that is a nice background.
Yeah.
Okay, I can roll with that.
it's very bewitched.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Durwood.
Yeah,
he just got in the way.
Yeah, Darren.
Yeah, but she called him Durwood.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Oh, God.
The,
It's been a long time
mother-in-law
since
would
I've seen
never
Durwood.
call Darren by his real name.
Oh, that's right. Indora.
Get your shit
Indora.
together.
That was her name.
Okay.
Agnes
all right.
Moorehead. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. See, it all comes full circle. So Grandma crashes their very normal Halloween night with her crazy carpet bag, and the kid. You can tell that the kids just prefer their awesome, loopy kind of grandma, and
Grandma pulls out toys and candy and costumes and
she's the fun grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Oh, that scrunchie on that girl's head it's got its own zip
I
code.
like that scrunchie. Okay.
I believe it. Well, scrunchies were huge when we were that age. So,
Yeah, and they're making it a background.
they're trying
They're
to.
coming
Oh,
back.
she really is like a satanic Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I'm
She is,
telling
look at
you.
it.
Pulls like
The
a
voodoo doll.
a fetish doll out of her bag. Oh, that's what they're called.
It got so real
What?
so quickly. But hey, Grandma, you can't get weird without taking a few side steps. So maybe.
I mean,
but yeah, and I love
there's a lot of truth in that statement.
going back to the kids and like their whole dynamic, because you have the oldest sister Marnie, the middle brother, and then the little sister, and the middle brother is just this uptight little, just fact spitting, no nonsense,
Hates Halloween.
middle-aged dad.
Total mama's boy.
Oh yeah.
Like doesn't do anything that mom does not approve of first.
Yeah, even when Mom's not around, he's like, Mom says we shouldn't be doing this. They're like, come on, get it together, you square, or whatever they called him. I don't know. It's not
Little
1950
shithead.
anymore. That might have been more accurate if it wasn't the Disney Channel. But yeah, so you see the
Look,
kid.
Mama, it's a pentagram. Yay!
These come from this from this store or this Halloween shop. But yeah, so you see that the mom's clearly uncomfortable while the grandma's just divulging candy and all this bric-a-brac from her very witchy bag. So she just comes and just crashes their Halloween.
I got this one after a night with Satan.
Listen, I ultimately the reason I'm way back in the beginning when you asked me about this question, why I picked this movie, there's so many other Halloween movies that I loved so much that I can't pick one.
Gotcha.
So I think that's why I went back to
So yeah, because with
when I
you,
was a kid.
I was honestly expecting something more scary because I know you wanted to do Hocus Pocus, but that had already been
Dude, Hocus
claimed.
Pocus my jam.
You'll
I have
like
a tattoo of Hocus Pocus.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I wonder if Katie's that committed. We'll have to find out on her episode because that's one of our future Halloween episodes, listeners.
I love Hocus. I will watch anytime I'm depressed. It's Hocus Pocus.
Oh, that's your pick-me-up movie.
It is. I don't know why. It
knew
also
that's-
is a Disney movie.
Yeah, I was about to say that's another Disney collection. We wound up, listeners, so you got plenty to look forward to with all of our Halloween episodes. We wound up with a very, quite a variety of different picks for Halloween.
I'm excited.
Including our first Cronenberg.
Oh, I wonder who picked that.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh, I know who it was. Believe me, it wouldn't be a Mr. Brown special if it didn't include something weird. So there you go. But yeah, I bet plenty of people Clive Barker themselves in that movie. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but you guys are going to have to just stay tuned to find out.
We've hinted at a couple, but you got to check out what we got. We've got quite the variety.
And look, the rest of them are way better than this. So you guys, seriously.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and deviate from that a little bit because I never watched this movie as a kid. And I think that if I did, because I was talking with Meg about it at work today, and she says, "Oh my God, you didn't just love Halloweentown?" I said, "I think I actually saw it for the first time ever last night as an adult."
It was so popular that they made 4 versions of it.
I remember
4.
Yeah. Debbie Reynolds is in all of them, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 versions of it.
It must be a great phase of a career as an actress where it's like you just every couple years you go do one of these crappy Disney movies. You get a paycheck, live off of it, go back and do another
It's
one.
Adam Sandler syndrome. That's what it is.
Yeah.
If you're making good money for doing something that you're good at doing and it's easy to do, why not?
Yes.
Why not?
So Adam Sandler, what you're saying is that Adam Sandler should remake Singing in the Rain.
Absolutely, he should.
Okay. All right.
But with
I'll watch it.
But with like dub
Cameron Diaz. And,
Cameron Diaz for sure. But put Jim Carrey in there for some reason. I don't know.
just
for shits
shoehorn
and
him in
giggles.
there.
Don't give him a single scripted line. Just Jim does his thing whenever he shows up.
There was a time when I would have said Jim Carrey would never stoop to such a level. Then Sonic happened.
I don't want to talk about it, Jason.
And that's real. That's out there. Someone made that movie, and Jim Carrey was in it.
I'm pretty sure in that. I think in Liar Liar, I think is that movie where they just said Jim acts like Jim.
We've talked about that because they would give him like bookends pretty much where he starts the scene with some specific words. He's got to say some specific lines throughout the scene, but in between it's just Jim does his thing.
Well, that's
and he just improvises.
Yeah, that's actually what they did with the skeleton in this movie.
The robot skeleton.
Yeah, Benny does his thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
The actress who played Marnie, she mentioned that because they did it like a big reveal. This article that I found from 2016 where it was like, oh my God, the taxi driver was a machine.
Yeah, like,
whoa,
wow.
I never would have guessed. Yeah.
Haven't they been doing that since like the 70s?
Who knows? But the actor apparently dubbed all of his lines afterward, which makes a lot of sense. And
well,
he
actually,
has
yeah,
some of
when they got the skeleton on set, nobody realized that he only spoke Italian, so they had to dub everything.
Oh, he was Christopher Lambert.
Yes, he was. Yes, Christopher Lambert was the skeleton.
Otherwise, they would have cut him out, just like they did in Baron Munchausen. But yeah, it says Benny the driver, or the taxi driver, was a robot, and during some interview with Baltimore Media Blog, Brown is her last name, the lady who plays Marnie. The hilarious talking skeleton that drove the taxi was a robot. She said, the actor dubbed his lines after the filming, so we actually worked with a robot. I'll always remember the sound it made.
Wow.
Like, wow, that's so in-depth. What a great...
Yeah, I mean, that's like, yeah.
So glad she told us all that.
I know.
That's some real inside the actor studio shit right there.
I just rocked your world.
We just missed where she introduces the book of Halloweentown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's introduced as a fictional place, as a bedtime story to the children.
And this is where Satan lives. And this is where his demons go to school.
This is where the horseman goes back to his final resting place.
And this is where all the good boys and girls get eaten alive.
Oh, God. I mean, I think there's a cautionary tale of some sort in every family, something similar to that. There's a restaurant that used to be around in Roswell called the Southern Skillet, and they had this absolutely enormous frying pan that hung up from the ceiling. And my uncle, for all the kids, as they grow up when they're little, he would warn them, oh, that's the frying pan that they fry bad little kids in when they don't behave in restaurants. So I think every family's got something like that to some extent.
I don't know if we had something like that in my family. I don't.
Oh, my family definitely did.
Didn't they just feed bad kids to gators in Louisiana, Jason?
Everyone got fed to gators.
Oh,
it was a fact of life.
The facts of life. Of Louisiana.
Oh, and
so here's the book.
Yeah, the book of quickly drawn art.
Yes. This is very, very.
Yeah.
Like, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, and believe it or not, guys, director Dwayne Dunham told MTV that the budget had to be cut down a lot.
Really?
Surely not. Apparently, it started out. It was a $20 to $30 million movie, but he had to cut the budget down to $4 million. So
makes sense now.
I just tied his damn hands.
Because someone read the script.
Yeah.
And went, whoa, give me that checkbook back.
And yet the movies were so immensely damn popular, as Michele said, that they just kept making them.
Well, that's the thing. Look, I mean, TV movies and Disney movies in particular there've always been sort of category or levels of Disney movies, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
You get your Disney animation, you know, the big things, but then there were all kinds of Disney kids
Originals,
movies.
yeah.
That
The
were on
originals. Like,
yeah.
you
the
waited
TV show.
every
Yeah.
month for it.
Yep.
Friday night.
Xenon, Girl of the 21st
Yes.
Century, and
Alley
Brink.
Cats.
Oh, Alley Cat Strike. Yeah, I remember
Alley
that one.
Cat Strike, because I was a big bowler. I grew up bowling, so that was
Nice.
like my thing.
And the guy in Alley
Motocross.
Cat Strike was really cute.
Yes,
too,
he was.
as
He was
I-
in all of them. The guy from Xenon. No, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Motocross.
that's. I was about to say that's different.
the guy from Motocross that plays the.
Because the kid from Everwood
crush.
was in Xenon. But yeah, I know you're talking. They
He's
just got
in,
some
like-
moppy-haired, good-looking guy.
Oh, sorry.
We've ventured into Clueless territory. where we're
Sorry,
talking about
sorry.
I
guys.
accidentally hit the crickets button. I don't know how that happened.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh wait, sorry, wrong movie.
Wrong
Anyway,
movie. I mean, I'll totally talk about that movie all day. Next time we have
we
that
can
one
bring
come
you
up.
back for a regular season next year for that one. But yeah, so I don't know. This is one of those movies that you can, not to insult it, but you can kind of talk through it because the exposition, it takes a little while to set the story
It
up.
really
surprisingly
drags
so.
in the first
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
The first act is ridiculously long.
And there's almost too much buildup for what the secret is. It's just like, okay.
Well, it's very obvious what the secret is.
Yeah, Marnie's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch. Okay.
But they take forever to reveal it to her,
Yeah.
and then I'm right there with you.
Well, and it's funny because if it's such a big secret, you wouldn't think that the mom would lower herself to arguing loudly with her own mother in the kitchen
Yeah.
about Marnie's a witch, and as of midnight tonight, she'll never be one. Ha 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 ha! Like I've accomplished my goal to make her normal.
Yeah. Oh, you horrible mother, you.
And I love that,
It's like, I mean, that's as I'm watching this, that's what I'm thinking. It's like,
she is a total witch with a B.
I mean, she's like, oh, I'm the bad guy because I don't want my daughter to go fight in some battle in some alternate universe. It's like, no,
That's pretty
I'm
momish.
right there with you on that one.
Well, and what's hilarious is that she has these little digs at her mom for using magic, where she'll be watching TV and some commercial comes on and she can just turn off the TV and she goes, "See, it's just like magic." And it's just those little comments that
she's
she
like,
makes.
"Is it though? Is it?
It's a kind of magic.
Is it?"
Oh, another Highlander
Call
shout.
back.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Here's
Oh, you were
she'll-
talking about the band. Sorry.
She'll finally be normal like her brother. Oh,
Who doesn't want to be normal like the brother? I mean, he's just geek-tastic over there in the corner, following all the rules and dressing remarkably like Jason in khakis and kind of a checkered shirt.
Yeah.
Y'all have similar wardrobes going on there, Jason.
It's what dudes wear.
Apparently, after
Yeah.
a certain
Yeah,
after a
it's-
certain
yeah.
mental state of
Yeah.
age, I guess is what it is. Because
When
this
you
kid's like
when
8.
you stop trying.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what
Yeah.
it is? Good to know. That's the level that we're at. So yeah, Marnie discovers that she was supposed to be a witch, and here's a logistical thing that I don't understand. The grandma does state that Marnie should have been receiving training to be a witch all through her life, and then suddenly Marnie just plans to become a witch in the 4 hours that she's got
Oh, yeah.
left in order
Absolutely.
to become one.
She's
Before
too,
midnight.
she's too old to begin the training. Yeah, I see.
I've never heard that before.
That is a major plot hole that only a boneheaded filmmaker would. Where have I heard?
I
that
can't
before?
imagine
Yeah.
what you're alluding to right
I
now,
know. I
Jason.
was like,
Is it something that Disney owns now?
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'll never figure it out. Drat. Anyway, at least there are no midichlorians in this particular story. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we're still in the setup process where
well,
Marnie,
now she tells the mom what's wrong. She tells her about the problem in Halloweentown where the neighbors are disappearing.
the grandma tells her what the problem
Yeah,
is.
the grandmother is like, I need your help to figure out what's wrong in Halloweentown, and I need another witch. I need someone to help me.
Yeah, because that's
figure
not
out what's
even
going
the
on.
battle isn't even really part of her mom logic, where
Right,
she
right.
doesn't want Marnie to be the witch. She just doesn't want her to be one.
Yeah.
But now that there's a bigger issue, you know, Debbie Reynolds is like, we've got to band together and fight this problem. Witches are more powerful when they work together, and what a life
See, I
lesson
would,
for everybody, okay?
I would like to explore why the mom doesn't want her daughter to be a witch more. I want to know what is in the backstory of her.
Because her
What
mom's a
horrors?
witch too.
I know,
That's
but,
what's crazy.
but she's rejected it.
Yeah,
You know, I want to know the horrors.
I think
of,
it has. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think we ever find out.
I just want a normal life.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
And the name of the town is Halloweentown.
Yeah. It's so on the nose.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was
Practically
actually no.
punches you
Yeah,
in the
I know.
nose.
I was actually thinking they could have called it On the Noseberg. You know.
That would have been delightfully subtle. But you gotta love that Debbie Reynolds. I did like that bit where she kept turning the leftover chicken into a live chicken.
Yep.
And as her parting like F you to her daughter who disses her and like sends her away, like, no, we're not helping you, go away. She turns the chicken into a live chicken again in the refrigerator.
Yeah, because that's
Boom.
just normal witch screwing with your family, I guess.
Like you do.
Oh yeah.
You know, thinking of the mom's backstory, now I'm thinking, what if Suspiria was actually just a prequel to this movie? Has anyone ever seen it?
It's just, I feel like you're looking for confirmation right now. You're
He's
like,
looking
yeah,
for
no?
corroboration, and we're just like,
We're
what?
What?
No, I'm just thinking of some of the lesbian scenes.
Oh, shocking. See, he just starts to distract himself when he's not interested enough by the movie in the studio.
I'm
That's
so
really
sorry.
what's happening. Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry I didn't pick a better movie for you.
No, it makes for better fodder for the tell-all, believe me. So you should have heard how he came down on Clueless. Katie, I think Katie still cries herself to sleep over that.
Clueless has been her compared to this. Clueless is Citizen Kane.
Wow.
We're still in Act 1.
This from the guy who said that Death Race 2000 is one of the best in the cinematic canon. So I'm not really sure where the hell you're coming from with your sliding scale.
And I stand by that.
Okay.
Because it's entertaining.
Yeah, because I took a recent listen to that.
Yeah.
No, it is. I'll give you that. If we're just talking entertainment, sure. But yeah, so the Halloweentown book is also real, evidently. So like everything about this little town is real.
The mom looks like if Jessica Chastain had an older sister that didn't
I was thinking about that. She does look like Jessica Chastain.
It's like maybe her aunt or something.
It's like, oh, you'd be prettier if you weren't so uptight all the time.
So here's Marnie trying to follow Grandma.
And it's funny how they kind of dress Marnie like she wants to be a thrift shop keeper when she grows up. They're trying to find a midway.
would be so proud.
Yeah, because she's trying to obviously emulate her grandma a little bit and wear looser fitting clothing and be a little hippy dippy witchy about it. But
so Marnie snuck out and the brother followed
to the night bus stop. I mean, wait a minute, just the bus stop
before.
Sorry, I'm gonna make all sorts of Harry Potter jokes during this episode. But yeah,
well, this one, I mean, it is very similar. It's like it just appeared out of nowhere and nobody knew it was there until now.
Maybe JK ripped off everything.
Halloweentown.
Maybe she just ripped off Halloweentown.
Damn mouth.
Hey,
I will come across this studio table at you, Jason.
We just need 4 more Halloweentown movies.
Yeah.
To compare the two.
And billions upon billions of dollars. But I don't think they're going to accomplish that with a $4 million budget. But yeah, Grandma does just peace out on this very convenient bus that comes
And the
together.
two of them follow in the back.
The kids sneak on behind
on
her.
that emergency exit bus. How did they even get how did they get the open from the outside?
I don't know.
Can you open it from the outside?
I mean the bus with it's looking at the makeup of the monsters on the bus. I couldn't not think of the Electric Mayhem bus from the Muppets. 'Cause that's literally the level of scary.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, who's the first monster we're gonna see? Who's the first one? This is gonna set the tone. Yeah. Frankenstein's monster.
So David Carradine. Oh wait, that Frankenstein, the green one. Just kidding.
The green one.
Yeah.
Different Frankenstein, guys. Sorry.
So I want to take a break from the movie for just a second because
assuredly
the two of you, unless I am terribly misinformed, you both went somewhere pretty special this past weekend.
Yes.
Oh yes, we did. Speaking of monsters and
Monsters and
costumes
mayhem.
mayhem. Yes.
Yes.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about your time at DragonCon?
Woo! I think you mean my highest of holy holidays, Jason. That's where I was this weekend. And DragonCon, Michele, do you work as a volunteer there?
I am a volunteer.
That's pretty awesome. So what does that entail exactly?
Well, I work with the tech department, tech ops.
Cool.
Which is a really neat family.
Is that why that speakerphone being on fire was so funny, or that costume? Because one of the speakers caught on fire at, was it the Hyatt?
Sheridan.
The Sheridan.
Yes.
And somebody dressed up like the speaker that caught
within
on fire.
6 hours.
Yeah. The creativity just is.
That's DragonCon.
Is lit.
I mean, that is legit. I mean, did you see the FedEx guy?
No, I didn't see him.
So there was a poster of a FedEx ad for the fact that you can go down into wherever and ship your stuff for FedEx, like for normal business people that use the hotel for other reasons.
Oh yeah, that guy that was the cardboard cutout on the sky bridges.
They've dubbed him John.
Okay. They kept doing
John,
terrible things to John too. They kept putting googly eyes on him.
Thursday was googly eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
He was in the walkway.
Oh, it got worse.
the walkway of between the Marriott and I think the
Hyatt.
Peachtree Center.
Oh no, you're
area.
right, Peachtree Center. Yep.
So it was a big area where people kind of congregate a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And it started with googly eyes, and then it progressed to random stickers,
Fangs at some point.
and horns,
blood dripping down his mouth. It was crazy.
And he ended up being completely covered.
I wonder where that cardboard cutout ended up.
I don't know, but it disappeared. I have a picture.
I feel
on
sorry
Facebook
for him,
somewhere.
regardless. But yeah, so Dragon Con, for those of you who aren't familiar, is this 4 or 5 day con, depending on when you arrive.
Yeah.
And when you actually show up,
Yeah.
right?
When you actually show up, but it takes place mostly during Labor Day weekend, where people from all walks of nerdiness don whatever costume that makes them happiest that year, or whatever they've been working on throughout the year. You've got actual R2D2s and BB-8s, great Iron Man costumes. There's always a Ruby Rod.
Well, you sent me a picture of Amandu Chiwin.
Yes, I did, from the Fifth Element. I did. And we'll put that picture in the show notes specifically for you listeners, because it fits into the Halloween aesthetic for sure. So
Yeah.
I'll make sure that we add that in the show notes. But yeah, there were plenty of Lilu Dallases, and what's really great about Dragon Con is just the
multipass.
Lilu Dallas multipass, and that I was about to get into that, because at Dragon Con, and this happened to me a lot this year with my costume. I was Girl Negan, and so I had the white T-shirt and the red bandana, the gray pants, the boots, and the bat, and people were kind of divided on it. Like, normally when people like your costume, they'll like yell a catchphrase at you, or just yell Negan or something. All that poor cardboard cutout. But
they made a memorial for him when they moved him.
Jesus H, that's crazy.
Yes.
Oh my god,
That is Dragon Con.
it is. That's the hedonistic side of
Right here.
Dragon. Oh,
I wonder
God.
if he got a Viking funeral, because he's made of cardboard, so it'd be very,
mean,
it would be very convenient.
You could
We
put
had a
him in
cult
the,
against for a trash can last year. Did you remember that? Trashy?
Yep.
Trashy the trash can. They moved him. It was a metal trash can, and they moved him, and they got all upset about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Dragon Conners are very committed to every aspect of it, including the carpet at the Marriott. So,
See,
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. That's sad.
I think I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna go one of these years, but the problem I always have is the costume side. And
We've already covered this.
I know, but I honestly think I'm just gonna do the cheapest, easiest costume.
That's what I did this year.
I'm gonna order an MST3K jumpsuit.
Nice.
And that's it. That's the costume. Zip it up. There you
Hey,
go.
my Negan costume consisted of a foam bat, white T-shirt, and motorcycle boots. It was not hard to put together.
Yeah, I don't even dress up.
Yeah.
I go in fishnets and cut off shorts.
And some people do that. Like Josh wore his Pickle Rick shirt on Sunday, and that's all he wore. So some people go simple.
Jesus, that's all he wore?
Yes.
Just the
Oh
shirt.
my God.
Just the shirt and nothing else. Oh, and his Dragon Con badge. They wouldn't let him in without
Well, that's
that.
true.
Without
Yeah,
that.
Care about your underwear.
come on.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people dress
He
up.
went full Winnie the Pooh.
Oh god! When people dress up on every tier imaginable. Last
It's insanity.
year, my friend John Strangeway and his pals dressed up like the Men in Tights guys and did the flash mob.
Yep.
Where manly men. And Carrie Elways actually took a video of it
That's another one of my favorite movies.
in the middle of the Marriott Marquis.
Well, you've got a good story about him.
I do, listeners. I brought him up about 40 billion times on the show.
You know what? Let's get back to the movie and come back to that.
We totally can.
Because that's a great story, but I want to...
Yeah, we've sort of gone through a
Benny's
few
showed
minutes
up.
of the movie.
Yeah,
Benny has showed up.
we've introduced the
Benny no, I can't make a song out of that.
character.
The
Well,
robot.
we've traveled into Halloweentown.
Yes.
We snuck
Yes.
on the bus.
Yes,
We're
on the-
finally
on the
somewhere more
Noseberg.
interesting.
We lost Grandma, and now we have to try and find out where Grandma is. And then they
Yes.
end up running into the mayor of the town,
Yes.
who is this very charismatic warlock.
Who's super obviously from the get-go in love with the kid's mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your
Knows
mom's not
exactly
here?
who you are.
Yeah.
Where's your mom?
I heard she's single now.
What happened to your dad?
Mayor, do you get all your taxi drivers from Home Depot?
That's what he looks like.
No, we got him from Costco.
He sits in my neighbor's front yard
Yeah.
and screeches at a passerby.
So they make it to the Cromwell house. It's their last name,
Yes.
Cromwell.
Yes.
I would never have figured that out.
An obvious connection to Oliver Cromwell, which there's many parallels in this movie between the Commonwealth and the restoration of the... I don't know.
Quiet you.
know.
Play the crickets.
Yeah. No, I'll do the...
Oh,
wait, hang on here.
There you go.
Not even that's making me happy.
Oh, that's what she
Shut
said.
up.
Anyway, so yeah, we finally and we haven't
Wait,
missed.
wait, hang on. I'm going to think of a better movie. And I'm back.
Oh, you bastard!
Hey, I paid for it. I'm going to use it.
Hey, luckily Michelle's got a tough skin. Okay,
I
she
don't
doesn't
care.
need your approval over there in the corner.
Well, she didn't make the movie.
I didn't make the movie.
true.
It's true. I just picked the movie, which I am a little hurt. My inner child's killer is angry at you.
Your childhood was a lie.
Yes. Well, it is.
And I feel the same way.
I
about
feel like
this.
that's a theme for this show. Hello,
Yeah.
it's full circle.
Yeah.
Maybe this is really why I picked it.
We're gonna dump on it a little bit. That's sort of part of what we do. But this movie, it makes me think of Baron Munchausen in the same way. Like if I had watched it when I was a kid, I'd probably have a lot more affection for it.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
my first viewing of it was last night, and I'm in my 30s, so I was just like, okay, dad joke from the skeleton, another dad joke from the skeleton. Another dad joke from the skeleton. Okay, that I'm over it. Like,
Yeah.
and Josh was like, "Do you mind if I tune out while you watch this one, babe?" Because he'll normally watch the movies with me, but he was like, "No, I'm over it. No, thank you."
No, literally, I think I had about 30 minutes left, and I just said, done. I'm out.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Put my cards on the table.
Pretty
walked
sure
away.
I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So the little sister, the gate was locked to get to the house.
Okay.
So the little sister just wished the lock to be a frog, and it just happened.
Yeah, because
So-
that's the second instance you see of
Right.
her having powers.
Yes.
She's the lathe
But
of heaven.
Marnie has not shown any at all.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Marnie has the strongest affinity toward Halloween and
Loves it.
magic. It just it's her jam.
Yeah, and has not shown any signs. So
Well, I mean that does actually come into effect the movie later because with Marnie, she's the one spearheading the mission. Because what happens is the warlock, we find out later, is the bad guy.
because no one saw that coming.
Wow. Yeah, I know. It was sort of like, well, we don't have any other characters left. It's got to be him.
They have no more money.
Hey, stereotypes, man.
Yeah.
Has to
Why
be
the
him.
warlock got to be the bad guy? Huh?
Yeah.
That's just stereotypes.
Well, it's not so much a warlock. He was a politician. You know.
Oh,
so,
that makes
yeah,
way more
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the second movie, and yes, I watched this one as well. Is not.
She watched all four of them.
I
Don't-
did. I
Don't
actually.
lie.
I did.
I love it.
I don't like the fourth one. That was really bad.
That one has a different girl
It's
in it,
even
doesn't it?
bad. It's bad on my count. Yes.
Oh, my.
Well,
Because she's in high school now, and that's weird.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well.
no longer cool to dress like Zorro or whatever you dress like when you're in high
Yeah.
school,
And
guys.
she's just like.
hang up the cape.
But in the second one, it's his son,
Whose son? The warlock
the
son?
warlock son.
Wow.
Oh,
so-
somebody actually slept with him?
Right.
That's depressing.
Which we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we don't really know who the mom is of that in the second one, but he ends up being the one that's coming back.
Well,
for
that's why you have to watch
vengeance.
Suspiria, and you see all the
It all starts to tie
many
together.
threads start
All the
coming together.
dirtiness.
Yeah.
it comes full circle,
Uh,
quite literally.
I love the acting.
Oh, yeah.
the kids in this movie, and there are many good child actors out there.
Yes.
These are not them.
Nope.
These are.
I would say Debbie Reynolds does a fantastic job committing despite
yeah.
the lack of material that she was given to work
Yeah.
with. So she's obviously the most believable, definitely the most experienced, so she's got light years ahead of
Well, people of actors of her caliber and from that generation, they tended to end up one of two ways if they kept working, and you've got like the Alan Hale Juniors and people like that who ended up in softcore porns that were just it's a paycheck, I got to eat, I'll be in Giant Spider Invasion, sure. She ended up in a Disney movie that became a franchise. So, well done
it
her.
could have been way
Right.
worse.
Yeah. Could have been, absolutely.
And she did some guest spots on Will and Grace. She was Grace's mom, and she actually did a lot of singing and sort of show offiness on that show. So she had, I'd say, like up until she died, she was a working actress.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Merlin told her that was some magic talisman
Yes.
when all he had done was just he broke an Edwardian table he had and handed her the leg. Yeah, it's a talisman. Now sleep with me.
Somewhere somebody's having a really tough game of Dungeons and Dragons because their table just won't stabilize.
Yeah.
God.
I hate to admit it that I have a necklace of that talisman.
I believe that.
I do.
I 100% do.
I believe also that you.
I need you to send me a picture of you wearing that necklace so we can put it on our Instagram.
Absolutely.
That's what we're going to do.
No,
Absolutely.
they need to go to our store and they need to buy our merchandise.
No, they need to
Yeah.
see what Michele looks like too. So I'm going to put a
Oh,
picture
yeah,
of that
yeah,
necklace
yeah.
of her on Instagram. But we do have merchandise.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you, for whatever reason, would like a shirt or a sticker or something else like that, and we're adding new products all the time, we do now have our own merchandise store. You can get to it from the website, click the menu button, there's a link for store, or you can just go to store.hindsightishorrifying.com, and that'll take you right there.
The URL just gets longer and longer as we go.
Yeah. It's up and running as of today, actually. And we've got about 12 or 13 items, but we are going to be adding more as time goes on.
Yep.
So
and if you guys have suggestions, funny things that we've said that you'd like to see on a T-shirt,
Oh, yeah,
or
we'll make it.
a sticker. We'll make it personally for you. So
Yes.
you can do custom orders. Darth actually has a catchphrase on a coffee mug. So
Yes.
far, I didn't even realize I had a catchphrase apparently until one of our fans pointed it out to me. So that happened.
What's the catchphrase?
Oh my God, Adam!
Yeah.
Okay.
And he'll know why.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he'll know why.
yeah.
If you go there looking for any merchandise with autoerotic asphyxiation written on it, unfortunately, I actually designed a bunch of it, and I was about to click the button, and then I thought, there's probably
Wait a
something in a licensing agreement somewhere that says we can't do this. So
Hey, if you're gonna push the envelope, you gotta take some risks with some pretty infamous guests. Yes, Michele.
Here's
what's going on?
that works like magic moment that you spoke about.
Oh yeah, the mom's watching the TV.
Yes.
I turned it off. See, it's magic, mom. Oh yeah. You didn't realize your kids were out of bed. I bet there's some spell that would have told you they were if you maintained your witchy powers.
Oh,
Mom.
Dylan. Dylan's the brother's name. We learned Dylan's name now.
Okay.
Finally,
I don't care
forgot
enough.
what his name.
Sophie. Okay, there's Marnie, Sophie, and
Sophie.
Dylan. Now we know their names. And mom.
And she immediately knows that they haven't been kidnapped by some sort of psychotic killer on Halloween. It
No.
was
It
obviously
was
her
her
mother.
mother.
Well, there was
Yes.
no creepy music playing in
That's
the
true.
background.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how Jamie Lee Curtis knows that Mike Myers is
Oh
coming
yeah,
for her.
yeah. Well, yeah. He always has a soundtrack.
Exactly.
It's like Jaws. You can always tell when you watch Jaws when the shark is not actually there. It's because there's no music playing.
Yeah,
So,
you would think
yeah.
that the people would start swimming faster once that music came
Yeah,
on.
I
but
would. I'd get the hell out of the water.
Who knows?
So they're
Well-
walking around. Oh my god.
Yes.
The costume.
See, I loved the costumes when I was a kid. I loved it. I was like, that would be so cool to dress up like that. And that's kind of why I am where I am now with.
Well, you can buy
Halloween
paper
and-
mache, and
I'm not talking about the mummies, okay?
I'm
I'm talking about the other
Cyclops.
horrible masks that are here that were made by a 2-year-old.
You see, guys, Michele is the type that walks into a Halloween store with a whole new sense of excitement every year because that's like home deco for her.
I
She
do.
can go in and check
I bought
it
a
out.
I bought a new doormat this year from Spirit Halloween.
Boom. There you go.
I do. I have excuse me. I have a snow globe that has skulls in it
Awesome.
with black glitter, and there's a skull that sits on my countertop that has from Kroger.
This doesn't
Actually,
surprise me, but I've known you for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And in fact, listeners, Michele has known me since my days before I was even known as. Well, no, you met me after I got that nickname.
I was there when
True.
you got your nickname.
I got my nickname of Darth Jader back in our restaurant days. It was given to me kind of like being knighted in a way. Sam looked at me on my first shift there, and he says, "What's your name?" And they know my real name. If the jig is up, it's not even a thing anymore. But I said, "My name's Jade," and he was like, "No, that's not going to work." And then he sort of hit me on each shoulder and goes, "Darth Jader, done." And he just walked away from me. And from then on, it caught on like wildfire. I'm not sure how he made it happen, but by the next
that's
day,
the magic of Sam.
yeah, Sam, we love you.
Yes.
Shout out to you, buddy.
Yes,
Haven't
wherever
seen you
you
in a
are,
while.
have not heard or seen from you. Yeah, hope you're doing all right.
He's still alive. I can
Is
tell
he?
you that. Yeah, he's
Okay,
fine. So that's good.
For now.
Oh my! Until the warlock
I
gets
have
him.
no idea who you're talking about. So I'm just,
Old buddy of ours.
Yeah.
Just giving you a little history lesson on how Darth Jader became Darth Jader.
Which is
Right.
actually that holds together and is a more entertaining story than how Darth Vader became Darth Vader. So that's actually
You're
better.
welcome.
Yeah,
No
I
midichlorians
would
necessary.
I would much rather watch 3 movies of that.
And then they recast me in the 4th movie, of just like they did with these films.
As
And
Hayden- yeah, with Hayden Christensen as Jade.
I mean, he hasn't done anything else in the last few years.
Hey, he's living the good life.
I know.
Yeah.
He can
No. Off
those
retire all the money that he
paychecks. Oh,
made.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got
Absolutely.
like a ranch in Wyoming, and he leaves it to go do little independent movies.
Good for him.
And it's like, yep, He won.
I'm rich
Yeah.
enough to select only the movies that I feel like doing.
Yeah.
Hey, that is cool.
Yep.
But anyway, so yeah, we run into the warlock guy again at the, what is this, the local sweet shop
It's
or
a sweet
market?
shop.
Okay.
Yeah. Their
Is
ice
it-
cream store. I guess dessert. I don't know. It said desserts on it.
I don't know. Grandmas take kids out for sweets. So they're out in the town and they find that they have to put together a potion, right? Or
Well, yeah, that was a scene at the house.
okay, what were they talking about
the
at the house?
talisman.
Fill us in.
The talisman. They have to make a potion with the talisman to try and they think they can try and banish the evil out of Halloweentown that way.
Well, because all we know right now, the evil is just that the residents are disappearing from
Yes.
Halloweentown, right?
And we can't figure out why.
Yeah, we don't know who's. Oh, and here we go. We've got Foot Locker, Elvis,
This guy,
Yeah.
broom salesman.
his Elvis like hip swings.
Seriously, I
His
just.
total car salesman.
And it's funny,
Yep.
not to bring it back to David Carradine, but he bears
It always comes back
No.
to David.
he bears a frightening resemblance to John Carradine, David Carradine's father. Go look him up because he was an actor. He was in a bunch of stuff
I'm
too.
a little afraid now, but I'm going to look it up as we speak.
Yeah. I mean, you look at him and you go, "Oh yeah, Red Zone Cuba. I see it. Yeah, totally." And now this guy is like a dorky.
Oh, we're introduced to the love interest.
Holy hell, he does look like John Carradine.
I'm telling you.
That's
Yeah.
frightening.
Like,
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah.
But yeah, so then we get our first run-in with the town punk.
Well, he's also / love interest.
Is that later or? Well, I guess that's
I guess
toward
it's
the
a
end of the
little bit
movie.
later, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's the heartthrob.
So what
is he
part
though?
of? I'm
Quote,
curious.
I'm using air quotes.
What part of him is monster?
Oh, see, but that's you find out later that
Oh,
in the
If you
30
finish the
minutes if you
movie.
finish the movie,
Okay.
right? Yeah,
Because it turns out
But-
he sold his soul to the devil
he
Okay.
did.
for good looks.
But right now she's trying. The kids were in the sweet shop. Okay, back to talisman. They have to make a potion. The grandma tried to use an instant box potion.
yeah, it's like
which
cooking
they
with
make
instant
those?
rice, guys. It's cheating, and
Yes,
it's disgusting. Don't do it.
And it's
So-
got way too much salt.
Exactly.
it didn't work.
The
Surprise,
ramen
surprise.
noodles of magic, so
Yes.
it clearly didn't work. So they had to go shopping around for genuine ingredients to
well,
make
no,
the talisman
they
work.
they eventually do.
No, but that I think that's what they started out doing. Is the grandma's like, okay, well, I guess we have to go out and find these things, but then I think they get distracted.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they're in the sweet shop and then they go and they buy broom. The Barney gets
they go
distracted
to
by the
Ollivander's wand
brooms.
shop and
Yeah.
oh wait, no, just
No,
kidding.
the
Wrong universe again. The
flying brooms.
the
Yes.
special effects of flying on the broom. My God.
Yeah.
So Marnie gets her first broom at 13. That's such a
There are
nice rite of
so many
passage.
double entendres in this movie. I mean, like the guy selling the purple dragonfly, and it's like I prefer the metallic one myself. Yeah, I bet you do.
Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
I'm never
brush
gonna be able to
right
watch
past that.
I'm never
Yeah.
gonna be able to watch this movie.
yeah,
Really
we-
different.
I'm telling you,
that's
gonna be
what we
different
do.
forever.
That's
We mine all
the
the-
promise that that we make.
We scar you for life against
Yep.
your childhood favorite movies and shows.
That's okay.
That's what
So-
we're here to do.
I'll still
I-
I'll still enjoy it.
I think one of the big problems I have with it is the sort of tonal issue that we're supposed to be. Okay, it's established early on. There's this horrible evil that's attacking Halloweentown, and I
Yes.
need you to come back with me to fight this horrible evil.
It's very Stephen King's It.
Yeah.
How the kids are like, I know we've got to, destroy
Yeah.
this ultimate evil, but let's go get some Chinese
Yeah,
food
Right.
and ride on our
Right.
bike.
Yeah, it's like everybody's just kind of farting around, and
they're winging it. Like,
Yeah.
it just barely even winging it. It's just there's no commitment to the plan whatsoever. There's barely even a plan.
yeah.
Here's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, mom
Mom
busts
showed up.
them in Halloweentown. And she looks so out of place now with her mom jeans and her jean
Jean
jacket.
jacket.
Yeah.
Jean on jean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, that is
So what part of them is monster?
They're witches.
Okay, so if you're
They're
a witch,
witches.
you don't have any like monster bits.
I mean, I guess
Okay.
you can.
They do. Some of them do.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's like the vampire universes, how some of them sparkle and some of them don't get affected by sunlight. Sometimes
Christ.
witches are pretty, sometimes they're
Sometimes
wait,
zombies run really fast.
Only bad
I'm
witches
in
are ugly,
hell.
Dorothy.
I'm
Come
in
on, we know
hell.
this. Is this worse or better than Clueless so far? I can't tell.
Why don't
The
we?
glazed
Hey,
eyes.
let's do a double feature and talk about the traveling pants movie when we're done.
I can't even sit through that shit. No,
No,
we're
I've
not
actually
doing that.
never watched that movie.
It's
Yeah,
I can't.
just as bad as you would expect it to be. But yeah, so mom comes and busts the kids, and once again, you know, that's kind of the big thing for the moment. It's like there are these little bursts of activity, and then the movie goes on for 10 or 15 minutes, and it's filler.
It's like the Walking Dead episodes.
Oh, sick burn. I will shut that shit down. But yeah.
But no, and I love how the brother's like, no, I did not come willingly. They hypnotized me.
They coerced me.
They made me do it.
Oh, God. And the brother's such a little, he's so quick to throw them under the magical bus, as it were.
He was, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's the little brother usually.
Mom gets all mad and walks away in her denim jacket. Thinking, I hope I get to be on Nashville one day.
Meanwhile, Debbie Reynolds is giving her a very pensive, hurt look.
I'm waiting for the comment on this one.
You
got nothing?
The conjoined guys?
The two-headed arguers?
Well, first of all, the idea that conjoined people are monsters is very offensive.
Yeah, Michele.
Okay? I mean, it's deeply offensive. Siamese twins are
just
monsters?
Just fishing
oh
for
my
commentary.
God.
You should see my face right now. I'm appalled.
Why don't they say, oh, look at that monster. He's in a wheelchair. I mean, come on. And that one's Asian.
Believe me, far worse things have been said on this podcast.
Very offensive movie. I'm sorry. I do have standards.
He's just kidding. Or is he?
Is he?
Who knows? But yeah, you've got the conjoined guys who are arguing, kind of like the old guys on the Muppets. They just sit there.
I was thinking grumpier old men.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon.
Yeah.
Well, the remake version. Yeah. Jack Lemmon starring in the. Maybe that's where they buried him, is Halloweentown, so he could have a headstone like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Or appearing in. Isn't that what his tombstone says?
No, it just says Jack Lemmon in.
Oh, okay. Well, great.
That's all it's.
That's so hardcore.
I know, it's so awesome.
Have you ever noticed the zombie, if they do the widescreen again, the zombie sitting against the grave? He's just kind of like milling his head around.
Huh. I guess zombies don't eat people in this universe.
Yeah, right here.
That's a detail you pick up on subsequent viewing.
Yes.
Yeah. Or listening to the director's commentary.
He's one of the thriller extras who was on break.
Yeah.
He was like, God, all that dancing around in this heavy makeup is just too much. It's almost as bad as being in Shakespeare in the Park when it's 99 degrees outside.
Jeez.
Yeah, it is so hot here that I actually, for the first time in my life, bought a portable air conditioner.
My God.
Did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
because I can't work in my shop. It's so hot and humid that paint won't dry, and you can't airbrush
Jason
and
makes
stuff.
scale models.
Yeah.
In case
Right.
Michele has a very blank look on her face.
I know, I was like,
oh my God.
So yeah,
we'll get to it.
Yeah, so I literally had to buy an air conditioner that I can wheel out and point at me.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's how But hey, it could be worse. I used to live in Florida, so
I was
It could
about
be
to
worse.
say
Because
that's a lawless
heat and
swamp town.
humidity.
yeah, that is.
The humidity living on the coast is the worst. I grew up in New Jersey, so I totally know those feels.
She grew up with Snooki and all those orange people that were on that show.
We are all the same age, about the same age now. I'm just a couple $1 million
shy.
And
a few STDs shy, I would imagine, too, of where they're at. So,
Yeah, it's okay. What you lack in money, you make up for in all of humanity not wanting to murder you.
Right.
Exactly.
So
I mean, most of my friends, forgive me, friends that still live in New Jersey, I do miss it. But
Cherry Hill.
Yes, I actually was on an episode of Jersey.
That's where my wife was born. She was actually born.
I didn't think you knew that.
I didn't know that. I almost spat my beer out.
She did. She really did. I was. It was the most awesome and terrifying experience of my life.
Good Lord.
Yes. I went home to Jersey to visit family and friends, and we went out to Karma Saturday night, and
Is that a
that's the club.
a discotheque? Of
Yes.
some
That's some
sort?
sort of dancing establishment.
Where
when you're in
get you for the clam bake?
When you're in Seaside Heights, that's like the
place?
club
Okay.
for the Karma. Yeah. And we ended up running into the situation, and this is when he was sober.
Oh, right. He's a person. I forgot about
Yeah, I was
that.
about to say I don't actually know what that means.
Yeah. That's the person. It's his nickname, the situation.
The situation.
That's
Yep.
way worse than Darth Jader.
So
From now on, call me the occurrence.
Done.
I ended up sitting next to the DJ because I had 6-inch heels on and was intoxicated and
So
couldn't
Bambi
stand
on
straight.
ice.
Right. So I sat down for a minute. Next thing I know, the situation's sitting 2 chairs next to me, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, it's going on? Same thing. Cameras are following him. All of a sudden, I see these lights coming this direction. Next thing I know, they're all surrounding me, and I'm dancing with Vinny's uncle, Uncle Dino.
Jeez.
Is that a euphemism?
No.
Oh.
I think that's a local thing the kids do.
Yeah.
I'm not
Because
really
when this show's over
dancing with Uncle Vinny.
Because I need to go dance with Uncle
Vinny's
Vinny.
uncle,
Yeah. I had Mexican last night, so
Well, it could be in one and the same.
I would like to be on that show, but only if I got credited as man who kills evereveryone.
So
Listen,
the occurrence.
Yeah. Nice.
that was what the
Yes,
occurrence
the
was.
occurrence.
To
Yeah.
defend
Oh, no.
my home state,
Oh goodness.
only one of them actually was originally from New Jersey.
Well, you can't blame the whole state for the show. I mean,
No, you
look,
can't.
I'm from
the
Louisiana.
locals are not like that.
Yeah, look, I'm from Louisiana, and people say, "Oh, Duck Dynasty," and I hit them in
Oh,
the face with
God.
whatever's at hand. You know,
And where isn't Honey
same.
Boo Boo from Georgia? So
She is.
yeah, I don't like being associated with that shit at
yeah,
all.
I mean, Louisiana, we've been rocky, you know, because we had, when I was in high school, we had Britney Spears because she's from Louisiana.
Oh,
I
wow,
put her
okay.
above Duck
Yeah.
Dynasty until 2007 at least.
It's man,
Listen, the
That's a
girl,
tough
the girl
call.
needed
That
to
was a
release.
tough year.
Okay, leave Britney alone.
Leave Britney alone.
Chris Crocker, I love
Oh
that guy.
God, I'm gonna put that in the show notes now because some of our listeners might be too young to remember what that is. So
Chris Crocker? Oh, 2007, yeah.
no,
Yeah, I was
no,
about to say, it's not a given
Yeah,
anymore.
that's the thing. Britney Spears is old people music.
It is.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I've noticed now, we're completely sidetracked, but
this always happens. Believe
when
us.
I know that I'm getting old when I go to the grocery store and I enjoy the music that they play.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I recognize it and sing it, and then I catch myself going,
Be
"Oh
cool.
my god, I'm fucking old."
Get your produce in silence and just leave.
Leave.
Like,
Right.
don't let anybody know that you know.
See,
this.
I look at it differently because whenever that happens to me, I think, good. I'm now part of a generation that runs everything. Ha, ha, ha. We pick the music now, children.
This is true because do we even remember what used to play on the grocery store? Speakers when we were little.
No.
Trying to think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it that played whenever we were kids and when I was a kid that they still play.
Yeah, that's
You
the
know,
thing is
I
that
mean,
I think our music has held over a
Yeah.
little bit longer than previous generations.
Well,
The
you know,
2000s, yeah.
It's
because I'll
weird.
hear like Train and Goo Goo Dolls, and I'm like, that was popular when I was 12 years old. Like, it's just
I think that there's a sort of musical. I hope I live long enough to see it because I don't think it's going to be the generation that's there now, but I think the generation that's coming up. Like I was having a conversation with my neighbor, and we were talking about how my son came home from school, and he said, "Yeah, there's this song that everyone's talking about called Old Country Road." And I went, okay. And I'm like, well, look, if everyone's talking about it at school, let me find it for you so you can listen to it. Sure. I want you to know what it is. And he listened to about 30 seconds of it, and he said, this is the worst thing I've ever heard.
oh man,
And I said, I agree with you. It's pure garbage. And then he went and listened to, I think
dubstep or something.
No, he I think he went and listened to Elton John.
Oh,
you
okay.
know?
I can't even
Oh.
blame him for that.
I was talking to my neighbor, and he said, yeah, my daughter, who she's like 11, all she listens to, she loves Queen, she loves Elton John, she loves Aerosmith, The Who, stuff like that, and so it's like, well, maybe there's hope that these people will then go and
correcting the ship, as it were, or righting the ship.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that episode of Parks and Recreation where Tom and Ben were DJing the high school prom, and Tom is the cool one, so he was playing like Jeezy and Lil Wayne and all these people.
It's pronounced Jay-Z.
Excuse me. See, I'm not into the raps.
Was it ever Jeezy though?
No, there's Young Jeezy. He's a completely different artist.
Oh my
than
god.
Jay-Z.
Okay,
I
I'm
see.
gonna lean back
Yeah,
again.
so
There we go.
I actually,
Okay, sorry.
leave it alone. So he's playing all this hip rapper music and stuff, and they
Like
go
Run
up.
DMC and
Yeah, exactly. Meet me at the altar in a different group altogether. Anyway,
it's tricky.
shut up. The point is, the kids come up to the stand where they're playing the records, and they're like, "Excuse me, can we get something that we actually know?" And then Ben gets to step up, and he's the nerdy one. He's like, "Well, what about like some, like some Dave Matthews or whatever." I don't remember what he plays for them, but it's like some 90s deep track stuff. And they're like, "Yeah, this is our jam right here. This is vintage." And they start getting down to like
Vintage.
to like REM or something, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, hopefully.
You young people, I've been bitching about Dave Matthews since before you were born.
Oh, old man Jason
You do
over there
know
in the corner.
That Old Country Road won like the best song of the year or some crap
I don't
on
care.
VMAs.
As voted in by who?
Yeah,
That's
I literally-
they didn't ask my opinion.
I subjected myself to this
Okay.
year's VMAs.
Sorry to
just-
cut you guys off, but here are some fantastic practical effects in the film because we went, like I said, through about 15 minutes worth of movie where nothing happens.
Yeah, this should have been in the first 30 minutes of the movie.
It really should have, to at least like give you the level of evil that you're dealing with. So the kids and the grandma go to a local movie theater where
Debbie Reynolds, go.
Debbie Reynolds, the bad guy's throwing Pokeballs at Debbie Reynolds, but she keeps dodging them. And
Skeletor.
yeah, he kind of looks like Skeletor.
It's like a scarecrow. Like he's got almost like a what's that fabric?
That's if engineers developed a scarecrow. He's sort of flying in the air, and he's got this big cape on, and he's clearly like
Fog
this,
machines are working great.
Yeah, the fog machine is on point, and like the three puppeteers who were working on him, kind of like Jabba the Hutt, that are making him move around and making his jaw move and stuff.
I'm like wondering where'd the $4 million go?
I don't. Into Debbie Reynolds' pocket.
Yeah, I hope so. I seriously hope that's what happened.
The mom made a whopping $10,000 to play the mom.
Going to
in
be
this movie.
on Nashville,
Right. So the mom gets shocked, I guess.
She gets hit with a Pokeball.
So she gets put to sleep.
Yeah, she gets well. And what's really hilarious is that the mom and the grandma are both incapacitated by the Pokeballs, and but the grandma's just powerful enough to say it's okay, kids. It'll just put us to sleep, and so you know that they're not dead. So the stakes aren't even. Yeah. The stakes are immediately wiped.
Don't worry about any
It's
of
just an
this.
evil spell that freezes us all.
It just freezes us. Go.
No, we're in horrible torment while we're frozen, but yeah, come on.
You don't want to make it great. And they're running down the WB lot as they make their escape from the movie theater.
Disregard the Lot 13 sign.
Georgie is filming it around the corner.
Well, we missed about the punk. The punk was there because we found out that the punk was working for the
warlock,
monster.
The ginger punk. Yeah, he's
who
there.
Still looks normal.
Yep, he does. Because there's a big reveal about his looks later. Because he literally sells his soul to Satan for a better looking face. And
well, you would think in that town it wouldn't be that big of a deal. There's probably a service you can go through. You know.
You would think so.
I mean,
or at least a girl who's into that, like
no shit,
into what you look like in the first place.
Yeah. Imagine the high school there where there's that one kid who just wears khakis, and everyone's like, "Oh,
what a weirdo!
What a weirdo! What's he trying to prove?"
Meanwhile, you've got ladies jumping all over the Tiger Man from Ripley's Believe It or Not, so he would fit right in Halloweentown.
Believe it or not.
Oh God.
So this is where they realize they have to go find the ingredients themselves.
Well, and what's really funny,
we must kill the king.
I just can't get over this quintessential like kid haircut that Marnie's got with the long brown straight hair with the bangs and the scrunchie. Like,
but that was the style then.
It was. No, that's what I'm saying.
I remember having that haircut.
That was the look back then.
Yeah, me too.
I know. So they have to find a hair of a werewolf.
Yes. Who doesn't even look like a werewolf?
And I seriously, I thought that the barber guy for a while was Kevin McDonald, and I'm so glad I went on IMDb and checked, and it's not Kevin McDonald.
I can see it. Oh
and
my
that
God.
made me so happy.
That is so fun. He looks like Thundercats. He looks like Lionel from Thundercats. Like, he doesn't look like a werewolf.
I mean, I'll be honest, as having experience with special effects makeup, that prosthetic is actually pretty good. I've seen a lot of other high paid, like 13 Reasons Why.
I haven't seen season 3 yet.
The first season, when he has that cut on his forehead.
Oh yeah.
That literally, like, there was a group of us that we were talking about it, and we're like, that was the worst makeup I've ever seen. Like,
get it together, 13 Reasons Why.
Seriously, Netflix, like,
Jesus.
What the hell? And then I see stuff like this. It's like a $4 million budget, which is probably a quarter of what 13 Reasons Why had.
Yeah.
And that flame, by the way, with the hairdryer, that's a practical effect. That was really shooting flames.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, because who doesn't need flame to shoot out of a hairdryer? I ask you.
What monster, like, is that? I don't know.
Like, what are you
Freddy
using
Krueger.
that for?
How do you think he maintains that extra crispy look.
Oh crap, that dude's a werewolf?
No, but he gets his
He was
skin
at Dragon
done.
Con this weekend.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that was what was going on here.
No, that's what I said. Like I'm not making fun of the prosthetics itself. The hairdresser is a werewolf, but he looks
God,
like
he said,
Lionel
"Yeah,
from
baby."
Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does say "yeah, baby"
Oh,
like
here
Austin
we go.
Powers. It's horrible.
Now this is the scene where all of this movie is.
The
It's-
exercising
no,
scenes.
No,
yes.
guys.
The gym.
What? This is a little known fact that I looked up. This was actually a rehearsal for Cats.
Yeah.
The new movie.
And it's actually
So
it
This
act-
probably looks better than
I was
what-
about to say this actually looks a little better than that.
Idris Elba wasn't getting paid enough, so he didn't appear in this particular movie. But this is just all the extras getting ready
I can
with
just
their choreography.
it just kills me because I can tell which is a mask and which is what are prosthetics, like what are actual.
Because you got actual skills.
And it's just it now looking back on this movie. Like back when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's a whatever, it's a giant fish. But now I'm like, that's a dude in a mask, and that probably took forever to make.
Yeah.
But
But now they have to go after this other they got the hair of a werewolf, and now they need the sweat of
a ghost. Yes, that's
And-
why they're at the gym.
I'd be the
Again-
annoying little brother in this situation. I'd be like, "Ghosts don't sweat." Like,
No, well, I mean,
the
if
logic.
you really,
Captain. Yeah. Well, and also again, being that they're in this town, wouldn't they just be able to go to like Rite Aid and
You wonder-
pick up some ghost
I
sweat?
do much wonder.
You know? Like-
Because seriously, you would think that these ingredients are very easy to come by, and what's
so
hilarious.
was the ghost someone who was alive and then he died? Is he a ghost of a
Is
monster?
there another kind of a
Is-
ghost? Like I
well,
don't.
but ghosts are in Halloweentown.
Yeah.
Ghosts
They're just residents.
Are just yeah.
Well, maybe he died in the normal world and then was a ghost in Halloweentown.
Oh God!
and now
What if
it's-
that's what happens to you?
you
When
live
you
in
all go to
die, you
Halloweentown?
go
I'd
to
be all right with it.
Halloweentown.
How do you feel about that?
Well, this is why I got out of religion.
Well, and this is a pretty funny gag that they have going on up here because Marnie has to. There has to be a distraction in order for her to steal the sweat from the ghost, who's locked in a sweat box. So,
Couldn't he just
like missed
evaporate?
out of it.
Right.
you know
Like,
what?
yeah.
You're
Right.
thinking you're overthinking.
You're being
it.
too logical.
But
Yeah.
the little sister Sophie is like being borderline racist apparently because the ghost gets really offended.
He doesn't
'Cause she
like
puts a
stereotypes.
sheet on. Yeah, she
Yeah.
puts a sheet on and goes woo, and he's like, "All right, kid, that's enough. I don't like
woo?
stereotypes."
Did you just say woo to me? That is our word.
For woo by woo, okay? Get your shit together. But seriously, that she gets the ghost to sweat. Just one little drop of sweat off of his nose. Dink, they're done. And see, like, there's not much of a mission involved. That's the crazy thing is it took us all this time. Because how deep are we into the movie? About an hour.
Oh,
hour
yeah,
and 10 minutes.
yeah.
And we're just now getting around to accomplishing something.
Yes.
Where the kids, okay, they got the wolf hair, and now they've got the ghost sweat, and they need one more thing. What's the last thing?
Vampire tooth.
The vampire tooth, yes. Oh, with the worst practical effect ever, where they clearly just draw black magic marker on the lady's
You never
tooth.
did that? Have you did that when you were a kid?
No, everybody's done that when they were little, but like in a movie, you can so see.
You
that-
take the bottom wrapper of a Reese's peanut butter cup,
okay,
and you rip it, and then put it on your tooth, and it literally looks like you have a black tooth.
give you a jack-o'-lantern tooth.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
I used to do that all the time with a kid, but that's basically exactly. Oh, it's the worst.
Well, this is where the $4 million really started to run
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
They spent everything on masks.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've got this vampire, and the dentist with this insanely large nose.
Yeah, that's what makes him a monster. He just has
Yeah.
a very large
Yeah, there's
nose.
nothing-
It's like
He's like a-
oh, jeez, it just kills me because you can see the light shining from outside on the tooth that's
Yep.
supposed not to be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like the wires in Highlander. You weren't supposed to
Yeah.
see those either.
right.
I mean, it's not even really a mission. It's more like just running some errands.
Yeah, no,
You know?
exactly. So, and that's what's so crazy about it is that they're like, okay, we got the three things, and
Yeah.
it took them 10 minutes to do it.
We have to get the vampire tooth, the werewolf hair, pay the utility bill, and then go get some sweat. Okay?
Well, now they meet back up to Benny, and Benny's looking a little different.
Benny the robot skeleton.
Benny's
Yes.
seen some shit, man.
He looks a little bit more
Yeah.
angry, and Sophie's
Yeah.
very
He-
hesitant about
he's
this
had
ride.
a full day of carting people around Halloweentown who haven't laughed at his dad jokes.
Transvestite
Okay?
prostitutes,
Yes. Yeah.
pukers, yeah.
Shish kebab. The things
Lifting
he
up the
saw.
skirt of the night.
Pulling down the pants of the night.
It's like my favorite song ever.
That's one of the best episodes of
Yeah.
that show of all time. That top 10 easy.
Hey, let him go.
Yeah,
Let him go.
Benny suddenly tries to harass
him
the kids
go.
and let my
Your little
brother
Cromwell
go.
The dog's gonna chase the bone.
The bone. So the kids sick this random dog on the taxi, which does the dog have superpowers? How would it get in the taxi cab?
I don't know.
But he's chasing the skeleton because it's made
Maybe
out of bones.
maybe it's like the Q continuum, and they all have to be different things. Like, you know, you have to be the dog for a little while so that you know.
Maybe.
And
Like that Denzel movie.
It's not anything. We still haven't thought of the name of that.
It's called Fallen or something like that. It's one. I still can't
I'm
think of it.
deliberately not looking it up because one, I'm gonna wake
We're
up in
coming
the
up
middle
with
of the
better
night.
answers.
Yeah.
You're just gonna yell it.
I'm gonna get a text at like
The bone
2:30 in the
collector.
morning. Yeah.
No shit, that wasn't it.
That wasn't it. Halloweentown. Oh, damn it. But yeah, okay, so now we have all the ingredients to light up the table leg.
Right.
I mean the talisman, sorry.
So, but they have to say a spell in order for it to activate.
Yes, and that's where
Yeah.
you find out that Marnie's not really the one. She's not the witch with the juice.
Right.
It's Sophie. It's the little sister. Because Marnie can't even remember the spell that her grandma was using to get the talisman to light
Granted,
up.
it's not that easy.
I'm not saying it's easy,
spell.
but then the little sister just comes along and schools her. She's like, I just put it to music.
Right.
That's how I remembered it. It's like,
She's
damn,
like-
okay.
Like she's like little.
I'm
jerk.
gonna be a witch. You're gonna be a stripper.
Oh, God. Wait, I mean, I haven't seen her in any good movies lately. She probably is stripping for all we know.
I don't know. I
There's just no telling.
didn't do quite the usual amount of deep research. You know,
Shocking.
that I usually like to see what everybody else has been in, and I did look. I glanced, and to be fair, a lot of them, like the guy who plays the mayor,
Yeah.
he's got just a crap load of credits.
He does.
He has been in a million things. It's one of those great, just constant TV character acting people who
Just one of those people that's always working.
Yeah, and I love actors like that. I've always said I think those are the best actors that are out there. Are usually the ones that people think of as just character actors, quote
Absolutely.
unquote. Yeah.
Like Edward Herman was one of the best.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of all time, and not that he was by any means like small peanuts when it came to character acting.
No, but
he worked his entire life.
Yeah.
There was just
He wasn't in a lot of like huge productions. It was always just a consistent.
He'd be in the occasional movie with really big actors. Like
Yeah.
He was in that George Clooney movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones where she kept divorcing people, almost like a con artist.
Oh yeah.
Where George Clooney was her attorney. I don't remember, but he'll appear in movies like that every so
Intolerable
often.
Cruelty?
Yes, Intolerable
Yeah,
Cruelty.
that's it, yeah.
See, you thought of the name of that one, but yeah, it's just like with character actors like that, it's easy to remember Ed Herman.
Yay, we did it. We're witches. Hail
Yay.
Satan.
Well,
Well, they had to band together to do it.
Yes. A
yeah,
coven
because
of
Grandma says that witches are more powerful in numbers.
This is my favorite part where she tries to wave it in front of Grandma's face to wake her up.
Yep.
up,
Like
you old lady. Wake up.
like thinking
Well,
that that's gonna work.
And this is where the rules don't make a lot of sense. So they're in the movie theater, and there's this swirling vortex
Look,
on
they're
the
all watching
screen.
Patch Adams.
Well, the swirling vortex.
Oh, that's why they're all asleep. Oh.
The swirling vortex, it takes them away.
No, I
Like,
saw that, but
I
it
don't know
doesn't
where-
apply to
where they
everybody.
go.
So when the warlock first smacked somebody with the first Pokeball, they wound up in the vortex.
No, they were already frozen. They were already frozen, and he hit them and dislodged.
So
them.
Mom and Grandma aren't fully frozen yet. That's why we're able
Right,
to save them?
yes.
Oh, got it. Okay, now that makes more sense.
It's almost like we don't know what we're doing.
It's almost like I didn't do a lot of research for this either, Jason.
I don't think the makers of this movie did either.
Well, even I was like,
They flinged it. They
I
winged
told
it.
you-
But you still have copious notes though.
I don't know, not by my standards, because normally I take like 4 to 5 pages of notes. I only took 3 this time because just not a whole lot was going on in
Yeah.
this movie, to be perfectly fair. But it just, I mean, it's got its obvious plot. It moves along. It was just a little slow for what it was. Like, I think if they had made less of a movie and concentrated more on the special effects, more on the practical effects, it could have been better.
yeah.
Because they could have made it shorter and not focus so much on all this other exposition.
Yeah,
And
and
then
that,
it wouldn't be a Disney movie.
yeah, but
know,
and
okay.
that's one of the problems with the TV movie is that it's not like other movies where you can make it shorter or longer and that's fine. You've got a certain number of minutes that you have to fill.
Especially since TV.
It was always an
It's-
hour and a half.
Yeah, because
Always an hour and a half.
it's not like with it where they could do 9 to 10 hours and then cut it down.
Yeah.
They you know, these movies were formulaic in that sense. It's like Michele said, you got
It's a
really
trap.
it's a trap. You got really excited to see that hour-and-a-half special that they came out with once
Like
a
I
month.
was every time you see that big
and they
that
don't
kid
do
doing
that.
the toe touch in the screen,
and
you're
they
like, yes.
they don't do like that. Used to be a staple of life for kids. I mean,
and like Saturday morning cartoons, it's the same thing. Yeah.
When I was a kid, Sundays ABC would always play some movie, and it was like the most eclectic. You never knew what it was going to be, you know, and they would play James Bond movies all the time, though.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I loved as a kid, like I'd sit on the couch with my dad and you'd wait. And then when you heard the music start at the very beginning and that United Artists logo would start, and it's like, oh my God, it's UA. Maybe it's a Bond film, you know?
Exactly.
It really don't have that nowadays. Like my kid has no idea the concept of at 7 o'clock, this show comes on.
Right.
And you had to look forward to that all week.
Because everybody binge watches.
Yeah.
It's all binge watching.
Yeah.
Well, I was even thinking about that with Bob's Burgers the other day, because Bob's Burgers has those tail end bits where they're always doing something funny to music at the end of the show. But if you're watching it on Hulu, it just cuts them off.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the credits get in the way of it. I'm like, damn, it's just like when they're sitting on the stools and the stools are making the fart noises, it cuts that off.
My favorite one is the one where when Teddy takes the clog out of the drain. And then
at the end it starts dancing
at the end. I love that one.
That one is good. The one with the creepy teddy bear when Tina tries to be a babysitter, that one's pretty good too. Kick him in the tinkle dink. But I just looked at the IMDb credits for Kimberly Brown, aka Marnie. More or less. The only two movies that I even recognized just by their title, one, she was apparently in Bring It Down the House with Queen Latifah, and she was in Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty.
Oh.
Yeah, with Travolta, The Rock, Vince Vaughn, all those guys. Like it.
Oh, there's a big reveal.
Oh my God.
Oh my God,
Monsters,
the
the
Warlock's the
mayor.
bad guy.
Oh my goodness.
You see, I was just wearing this crappy mask. Ha ha ha.
But Marnie has a hood now, so you're going
She's
down.
got a cape.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, now she finds out that Luke worked for the mayor, and that's because the mayor made him look pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's asking the town to find.
The stakes are just so high.
I'm telling you, I'm on the edge of my seat.
And
no, wait, no, this is the back of it.
Meanwhile, you have Ferris Bueller in the background of the crowd with a pumpkin on his head. So there's that. He's about to break out into Shake It Up Baby, but then the mayor just disrupted his whole Halloween.
Yeah. Well, and Marty McFly is going to be driving by any moment waiting for the lightning strike.
Exactly. No, this set reminded me of that big time.
No, it
totally
I
makes
had
me
the
think about
exact
Marty
same
McFly.
thought.
Yeah, with the clock tower and everything. But,
here it comes, the ultimate fight. Yeah, this is gonna be better than Lord of the Rings.
Pokeballs.
No, Alice Cooper. That's who he reminds me of.
Oh my God, yes,
Alice
you're right.
Cooper throwing Pokeballs.
I have eyeliner now.
I have been trying to think of it all afternoon. He reminds me of Alice Cooper's uncle.
Well, that's what magic requires, Morty, is dark eyeliner.
Now we realize that it's not Marnie underneath the cape.
It's very Death Race 2000 if you think about it, because they swap clothes.
Yeah. Be my Frankenstein.
Stop it. I have to hear that song every day of my life in Netherworld parking lot numerous times.
Really?
All of those, every Halloween song that you can think of that's like PG rated, I've listened to like thousands of times because I have to hear it in Netherworld.
But let me ask you this, Michele. Would you rather hear that or go back to Bahama Breeze and hear Kenny Chesney and Bob Marley and Jimmy Buffett over and over again until you want to kill yourself in a vat of shrimp?
Jimmy Buffett. Well, she's not a 50-year-old divorcee, so Jimmy Buffett's right
They
out.
used to play that kind of stuff in Bahama Breeze all the time.
No, but every time I hear hot, 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 I immediately swing right back to Bahama Breeze.
I messed with Timmy so hard. We had a barbecue. I think you were at many moons ago where I put together a specific playlist on my iPod, and it was all the house
Bahama,
music. And he was like, "Damn it, Jade!" And he got so mad he almost threw my iPod out the window.
Yep.
We love you, Timmy. He'll be on the show at some point. So future guest.
How's he doing?
He's doing good.
His finger.
I haven't checked on him. I need to.
Nobody knows what the hell you two are talking
It's okay.
about.
Okay. Sorry.
Get over it.
I'm so sorry. Just edit that part out.
And that was just a weird
Someone with
thing
a
to
finger.
ask.
How's his finger? He
Um,
broke his finger at work, so
I know he did. But
background.
Anyway,
Anyway,
he didn't do
sorry,
anything
Tim.
weird with his finger, guys. Don't worry about it.
As far as you know.
Shh.
that's the
Damn it,
story he
Jason.
tells.
That's the
He
story.
apparently dropped a crate on his finger. Yes.
We're sticking to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So would you rather listen to the Halloween music or would you?
Oh,
go back
I
to
was
Behind
hoping I
Bridges?
was going to get out of that question.
No, you're not. I'm wheeling it back in.
I would probably the Halloween music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that, you can, for me being from up north and not a huge country fan, not
Well,
at
because
all.
people think beach music is country music down here, and that's
Yeah.
not the same thing.
It's not, but in my head, it kind of is.
Gotcha.
It's Kenny, you say Kenny Chesney, and I'm like,
Zach
Yeah.
Brown.
All the power of the Cromwells.
Yes.
You can be Lord Protector of England.
but yeah, no, I would listen to Halloween music for sure.
Cool.
What happened here?
So
I have no idea what.
we got distracted.
There was
by-
she threw something in a pumpkin and
The
then
talisman in the pumpkin, like a candlelight, and it's supposed to, it was emulating the light and lighting up the Halloween pumpkin.
It
Awakens
reignited
everyone.
the force and dispelled of dark.
So is
Darth
that
Vader.
giant pumpkin going to be a big stinking horrible rotting mess 2 days after Halloween like mine usually is?
I'd like to think that
Yeah.
it's got a spell on it that would prevent that,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Imagine
you
how
don't-
long, imagine how long it took to scoop the damn thing out.
Oh my god!
You know, that was
That's
always
why-
the worst part. I
That's why the
hated that
town
part.
has to get together to decorate. It takes a team effort. They
But
get a
that-
cat machine like digging up a grave. It's scoops
That
them
is
up.
that pumpkin is a big staple when if you go in Oregon in that town where they filmed, that
Dude, it's
they
so-
have that pumpkin every year.
so
nuts.
Alice Cooper.
Yeah,
It's just like
especially
yeah.
with the talisman prop. That's pretty crazy.
She brought out a chicken foot.
Shouldn't
yeah.
it be a live chicken? She could turn it into one, I'm assuming. But yeah, now Mom even gets in on the winning team because
Yeah,
they
Mom
start,
gave in.
They start doing this spell
Wait,
against the warlock because despite the fact that the kids, got the talisman through the ring into Mordor and did
Yeah,
everything they
yeah,
were supposed
yeah.
to do, somehow the warlock is like, never mind, and he, Jedi's the talisman over to him. He's got it in his hand and he's going to take over the universe.
So we found out Dylan has powers too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're all witches and warlocks. How special!
That actually means he's about to be struck by lightning. That's a serious problem. The acting here reminds me.
chocolate bar guy.
That
what's
was
his
the
name?
big insult.
What's his
Oh,
name?
crap, I can't-
Krollum something.
Cruller? Wait, no, that's a pastry.
No, hold on. I'm pretty
I
sure
can't
I
even
wrote
remember.
it down.
Calabar.
Calabar. And she yells, "Hey, chocolate bar!" to insult him, and I'm
Calabar,
just like,
take me away.
But when it's like when Linda first sees the mayor. Hi, Mayor. Stay cold front.
The acting in this scene reminds me a lot of old episodes of Star Trek when they would just tell them the ship was shaking, and
Yeah.
they had to, and that's where we're at in this.
They'd have to do the Shatner.
Yeah, it's
Oh, Shatnering, our favorite game ever.
yeah,
It's a great game to play at Dragon Con.
Actually,
Jason, did you get that link I sent you the other day, the Star Trek video, where Darth Vader and Picard are yelling at each other about which one's better?
No, and I think something's wrong with my email because I didn't get the show notes from Baron Munchausen either.
I haven't sent those yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, I
never mind.
texted it to you and Adam Brown, the Star Trek
Oh,
thing, so
okay, okay.
I'll text it to you again so you can see it.
No,
Your special effects are lame.
no, I
you
got
can see
this
his
from
cavity.
West Elm.
Oh no, the warlock's I'm defeated. So Halloweentown.
Old people do matter.
Oh, old people can be so sweet.
Even a witch can get type 2 diabetes.
What?
oh my god.
Old people. It just made me think of Wilford Brimley.
I was about to say I missed that for. I didn't put those two things together.
Oh, I love you, Mom, now for, and whatever.
Till the next
Just
movie.
Moral lesson.
I love you too, sweetheart. Now I've spent your entire life railing against you being a witch, but let's have Grandma come and live with us.
Okay, you can lie with the devil.
So long as you use protection.
Yes, exactly. I am not raising that baby.
The horns will just tear up the upholstery.
Yeah, no, thank you. So that movie's
anyhow,
over.
That pretty much wraps things up.
Yep.
And there was a story though. There was a Dragon Con story
There was.
that I
Because we got to end this on a positive note.
yeah, and by the way, I think this is just about one of the coolest stories that I've heard in a long time.
Okay, so Michelle is actually not terribly familiar with this story. I think you've seen it on my Facebook.
I've seen on
meeting
Facebook,
Carrie
yeah.
Elways. So I have bragged on Carrie Elways for years, and now especially, I will never stop because
he is a legitimately cool guy.
He's an
He
amazing.
really is awesome.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman, and he's so sweet and so polite. I've met him exactly 5 years apart. 5 years ago on August 31st, I met him, and Meg was going to go with me to Dragon Con. We were young and broke. I was serving tables or whatever job I was working back then, and it was finally one of those years where Meg and I had enough money scrounged together where we were going to get to go as best friends together to Dragon Con.
Right.
But then tragedy hit, and she got diagnosed with breast cancer, so she was smack in the middle of chemo. And her white blood cell count was far too low to permit her to go to this huge, crowded con in the middle of Atlanta where people are just disgusting. So you're walking around crowded amongst all these people. She couldn't go. So I told her, I kind of teased her a little bit. I don't know if I've told the story to this extent, where I was like, okay, pick a couple of celebrities that you wanted to meet, and I'll do my best to meet them, because you know how the lines get insane. Like, I know this year people were waiting 4 hours to meet David Tennant, just craziness. So I was like, pick a couple of people. I will get you at least one. That way I'm guaranteed some success. So I get in line to meet Ksenia Solo from Lost Girl. We love that show. And then a friend of mine runs across and she goes, oh my God, Carrie Elways is across the way. We got to go get his autograph instead. And I was like, yes, because that's what Meg really wanted. So we go to meet Carrie Elways, and so I'm messing with her a little bit. And I start texting her, and I said, oh, buddy, I'm so sorry. Ksenia Solo just had to go off and do a panel, and they're saying she's not coming back for the rest of the weekend. I'm so sorry. I messed up so bad. And Meg, being the awesome, cool person that she is, she's like, no, you try it. Don't worry about it. And then I was like, oh, it's because I'm in line to meet Carrie Elways for you right now. And she lost her mind. So I met him back then, and I told him I gave him the short story, unlike this one, about how she was too sick to come and see him. We've been best friends forever and been in love with him since we ever first saw The Princess Bride. And he goes, oh, okay, we'll grab an extra autograph and I'll sign one for her. And so he had already signed one for her because I put her name on it. But I was like, if you wouldn't mind just like adding a little get well or something, that'd be amazing. He goes, no, grab a whole new one. I'll do a new one for her.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he wrote her like this whole special message like, Meg, we're all pulling for you as you wish. Love, Carrie. And so this year, and so that was 5 years ago. And then this year I was determined to meet him again because I didn't get an autograph. I got my picture made with him and got Meg the autograph. And so this time I could afford to do both. And I got my picture with him again, and he did an autograph for me. He signed his book called As You Wish. And I told him, I was like, Mr. Elways, and he goes, Carrie. He corrected me again. He's told me to call him Carrie both times that I've met him. But I was like, I don't know if you'll remember me, but 5 years ago, today, I met you, and my friend was too sick because of her chemo, and she couldn't come and meet you, and we were so disappointed. And this day, and he clutches his heart for a second and grabbed my shoulder, and I was like, she's 5 years cancer free. And he's like, oh God, I thought you were about to give me horrible news. Like, I was about to be so sad. I said, no, I wouldn't do that to you. I came to tell you specifically that she's 5 years cancer free, and you just made her day 5 years ago when you signed her that extra autograph. He goes, will you grab her a photo? He's like, I'm signing her another autograph today.
So
that is so cool. And he wrote like
he wrote the sweetest thing. He read it off to me because he did it in cursive. He was like, okay. He's like, this is what I wrote. He said, dear Meg, Earth can always use some more angels. I'm so glad you stayed.
Oh,
Carrie. And I was just like, oh my God.
that is so cute.
That is.
I've cried every time I've met him because he's just the sweetest man, and he gives me like a bunch of hugs. He's just so kind. Yeah. So,
and
guys,
it's so heartwarming when you see a celebrity that that has that outlook, that actually treats people. You're a celebrity because people made you a celebrity,
yeah,
right? Because we believe
about you,
right?
Yeah.
And to see somebody reciprocating that is so, unfortunately it's rare.
Well, and he mentions it in his book. He said how like some actors who are, they suffer from being shoehorned into a specific typecasting and all that. It sucks for them, but he's like, you know what? He's like, you could choose to look at it like that, or you can say, wow, I'm in a movie that at this point now, more like 30 years later, parents are showing it to their children, and it's becoming a household, generations are sharing it because it's that important to these people and their family, like he was like it's a great honor to be considered a household name like that. And so he was talking about like how he and Mandy Patinkin will always say the lines that people want them to say because it makes their whole day when they get to hear that from their favorite characters. So
well, I think on that note, on that happy note, it's a
before Jason can disparage this movie any further.
I think it's a good time to end the show. I do want to remind everybody to check out the new store.hindsightishorrifying.com. Again,
we'll make some custom pieces for you if
we
that's
will.
what you want.
We will. And you remember, you can get to it if you go to the website, hindsight.show. It's up in the menu. You can find it. Find us on Instagram, Hindsight Horror.
No. Hindsight is Horrifying on Instagram.
Yep.
On Twitter, we are Hindsight Horror. But and on Facebook, we're Hindsight Horror. Okay. So it gets a little confusing. Or you can yell at Jason for dissing one of your favorite Disney originals at North Foggy on Twitter. And you can just tell me how awesome Michele is at Darth_Jader_ and how much you enjoyed
come to Netherworld this October.
Yes.
Stone Mountain.
Check her out. She's got
Netherworld.com.
There you go. So, Michele, besides Netherworld, is there anything that you're working on or anything you'd like for people to be aware of?
No, not really. Just kind of rolling through the motions.
That's cool.
Yeah, October is going to be fun. Stone Mountain, actually, we just opened up laser tag.
Awesome.
At
Very
Netherworld.
cool.
So we have.
Cool. If you can send me some links to that, I'll put it in the show notes for you guys if you're local and want to check it out. So, Michele, thank you for being our first Halloween segment guest. That was just very cool. So thank you for coming on the show. We look forward to having you back.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to.
And thank all of you for listening. Thank you, Michele, for being here. And join us again next time for another spooky episode of Hindsight is Horrifying. This is Jason Mitchell
with Darth Jader.
Good night.